Hey everybody, welcome to Bura. In this episode, we're going to be talking about what working life is going to be after the COVID-19 outbreak. Alright, welcome back. Before we start this video, I want to make sure that you like and subscribe. If this video got thousands of likes, it would mean the world to me. We also need more subscribers, so please smash that subscribe button. Remember that this channel doesn't do a Patreon. Instead, we sell our digital products down below. The more money we get from the content that you buy below, the more product we can make. Alright, so the coronavirus is wreaking havoc throughout the economy, and it's a complete game changer. I've even heard some people call it World War C. Now, it's been a very long time since something of this scale has happened to the world, and to say that the changes from this are going to be monumental is probably an understatement. Unless this problem gets solved within the next couple of months, and that's the best case scenario, I don't expect things to be the same. Let's talk a little bit about work and how it's going to be affected. Now, one of the things that is in constant debate is whether people should work at home or not. Now, there are some kind of employees that need to go to an office, but others do not. And this is a perfect work at home example. In fact, we're doing a global experiment on working from home. And so far, it has actually proven to be very effective. Now, there are some good consequences, there are some just consequences depending on which party you're on, and then there also are some bad consequences. So let's talk about the good consequences first. Now, one of the best things of working from home is that you don't have to use the infrastructure around you. So it's very easy to get up from your bedroom to go to your home office or to your kitchen table, wherever you're working. And it's a lot easier to do that than, let's say, take a train or a bus or drive to work. Think of the carbon footprint of just getting up from your bed to your office versus getting up from your bed and going to an office. Now, as a person who runs a business, I do have an office and I like having an office, and I don't want to work from home ever again. That's just my personal thing. And there are people like me out there, but I would assume that most people would rather work from home or to go to some place near their home. And this remote work is going to be very interesting. Now, some people are more productive at home and some people are not as productive at home. And this is going to be a very clear distinction that businesses are going to make in the future. There are going to be some employees that have it in their contract that they have to work from home or a remote location. And there are other employees that will need to go to work. And the people that need to go to work will have to go to work because they won't be able to find a job anywhere else. They'll maybe try a couple of work from home jobs, and then all of a sudden they won't be getting hired again because they did a terrible job. Remember, there are those people that have to go into work. Now, not every job can be outsourced this way. So if you're a computer programmer, this is something that works out really well. If you are a bank teller, that is probably not going to work out. Now, at the same time though, there are call centers, for example, support, where people have to come into the call center and do their work. And what I think is going to happen with some of these places is that there's going to be perhaps a 2/3 work in the office, 1/3 work from home. And if there's anything that's going to happen as a result, it's probably this. It's probably the fact that there's going to be some office work where the team can get together and discuss ideas, and then there's going to be work at home time. Very few, if any, people can work from home. Over the next few years though, I wouldn't be surprised if people fully work from home, but businesses realize that there might be a little bit more productivity in the office. What I think is the best solution to this is a variety. Now, I like working by myself in an office, but I know that most employees out there would probably like to socialize at the office and talk big strategy and then do some work at home. The variety of both those things will make work really fulfilling. And personally, I know that sometimes I go to a cafe and I do some work and it's really productive and it's a different change of scenery, and I really like that. But most of the time, I just like being in the office. Now, not only will people have a better quality of life as a result of working from home, but the carbon footprint will be less. In fact, a lot of major cities are seeing a lot less nitrous oxide and CO2 emissions as a result. And this is something that's really good. And the other thing that cities do is they put in big infrastructure projects to take people from the suburbs all the way to the city core. So that segues to some of the people who are really going to be affected from this coronavirus. And the people that are most affected it are, of course, landlords, and specifically commercial landlords. Now, in some cities, commercial properties have been in a decline for a long, long time. And this is because some cities have been seeing an increase in property values because all the people want to work in that city. Something like San Francisco, Seattle, anywhere where there's a lot of tech presence. Now, if people can work from home, then there's no reason to grind it out in one of these major cities. You can live in a suburb, or you can even live in a smaller town with all the amenable resources. Now, the size of the town can be debatable, but there could be cities that are maybe between 300,000 and 400,000 that will have everything a big city has and will be mostly like living in a big city, other than perhaps like the concerts or events. And these smaller cities might be very attractive in the future. You can have your social network as well as a moderately priced home to raise your family. And I think a lot of people are going to do this. And they will only go into the big cities for events. And this is something that's going to happen. Now, it's funny being in lockdown that there is an end to this. Eventually, we will find an answer to this. But to think of a lot of people going to a place in the midst of this epidemic is pretty hard to imagine right now. So commercial landlords are definitely going to feel the sting, especially in the bigger cities. And as a business owner, there is an overhead to an office. And why would I have an office in the middle of a city when I can move to the suburbs and get cheaper rates? In fact, in a lot of the major cities that have a huge tech presence, if you go out from the downtown core into somewhere of the suburbs, there is very good deals on office space. And in fact, it can be much less expensive to do this. So as a result of people working from home, I expect commercial landlords to feel the brunt of this. I also expect rental landlords to feel the brunt of this as well. So since so many people are working from home, people might want a bigger property, and hence they will move farther out into the suburbs and perhaps into the country where they can do their work from home and they can raise their kids. So if you have a family and you live in a big city, perhaps an apartment, and the rent is really high, and you're in quarantine, it can be quite a challenge. I know, because I have a family. Luckily, I have a pretty good apartment. Now, a lot of people are going to say, why would I want to do this when this can happen again at any time? I want a yard. And you can actually go into the suburbs and get a really nice house for probably the same price as that apartment. And you can live in one of these cities that maybe has 300 to 400,000 people in it, and you can get a really nice house. If you're making tech salary, then you're probably going to be all right. And I bet you that people will absolutely take a pay cut to work from home. And this is something that's going to happen. I bet people will absolutely take a pay cut to work from home. So maybe you're not making the big salary in a big city, but you'll move to one of these smaller cities or perhaps the suburbs and you'll take a pay cut. And this pay cut can be as much as 50%. There's a lot of people that I know will do this. And personally, if I was in that situation, I might consider it as well. Now, another thing about working from home is that when you have people to go to an office, you have to get people to live in the same area and go into that office. Now, if you're getting people to work from home, then there's no reason to hire someone in your city unless you have to get people into your office to talk strategy. Because of the coronavirus, you can hire someone that's maybe 10 kilometers away or halfway around the world. So perhaps a lot of the jobs that are incredibly high paying might go away and might be outsourced to a completely different area of the world. And this is something that you have to understand. Now, depending on where you live in the world, you might have a very competitive region where jobs are scarce and competition is high, or you might be living in an area where jobs are plentiful and competition is low. If you're in that second category, you have to really watch out. Because competition is so high in other parts of the world, they might do a better job than you do for a fraction of the price, and companies might just hire that person. Now, as a person who does outsource, this can work, and it also cannot work. There's a reason I have an office and I have my employees go to that office so I can talk strategy. There is a specific reason for that. Having said that, I have been having a really good time working from home, and I'm pretty sure my employees have been too. So I think jobs are going to completely change as a result of the coronavirus. And we haven't even talked about the economic fallout. We'll be talking about that in a video very shortly. But if there's anything that's going to happen, I think people are going to look at their quality of life, where they live, and how much they're getting paid as a result. And because businesses are getting people to work from home, there's going to be a lot more options for employees and employers. So in order to make sure that you stay ahead of the curve in in every situation, you need to make sure that your skills are up to date, and there's no better way to do that than a subscription to Mammoth Interactive. Remember that this channel doesn't do a Patreon, instead we sell our digital products down below. You can check out all the options down below, and if you've already purchased something, thank you so much. The best way to help out not only this YouTube channel, but Mammoth Interactive in general, is to subscribe to Mammoth Interactive's full library of content. We have over 1,800 hours of content, and we release 20 to 60 hours of fresh new content per month. We have everything from 3D design to machine learning to web development to game development and much, much more. It is the best way to make sure that your skills are up to date. We have monthly options and yearly options. Also, please be sure to like and subscribe and share this video. If you can share this video on Reddit, that would be absolutely amazing. It might not mean a lot to you, but if this video got thousands of likes, it would mean the world to me. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in another video.